Oh dear gods, what is this? No, really, what is this? What in the 9 circles of hell is this? Okay, that's it. I wanted to give Reaction Theater a little break so that way I could return to the comic corner on a good note, but looks like that's not happening. Roll the dang intro. I'm very sure for those of you who have listened in on War of Infinite panels should know that I've been very, very vocal about DC's recurring problem, that the company keeps pushing for things to be more dark, grim, super serious, and moody as hell, and how it's gotten so progressively annoying over the years. This can be applicable to almost all fandoms, such as Western cartoons, animated movies, and anime, but let's just focus on DC. Now, we all know DC's overall track record when it comes to their movies, aside from Wonder Woman. They're depressingly dark, pretentious, and makes you think that some insecure goth kid is writing these while listening to Linkin Park, or some 40-something-year-old geek who can't admit that he likes something as silly as superheroes. And for a long time, this was reflected in the comics when the New 52 started in 2011. Heck, it could even go beyond that and going all the way back to Identity Crisis. To be fair, after years of garbage with the New 52, I genuinely thought DC was showing signs of improvement these past few years. The Convergence tie-ins were a hit, pre-New 52 Superman and Lois came back along with their new baby John, DC was hiring better editors and kicking out a certain someone who should have been fired a long time ago, Justice League Action and Superhero Girls came out, more people saw the comedic quality of Teen Titans Go, not everyone, but a lot more people these days are opening up to the show, Dan DiDio realizing everybody hates him and learned to shut up and stay in the goddamn corner, and of course the DC Rebirth Initiative, which was a very welcomed breath of fresh air despite a few rough patches here and there. And it seemed as if things were going quite smoothly for DC. However, apparently, bad habits are hard to break, even with a somewhat steady track record. Enter DC's latest addition to their television roster, Titans, or rather the trailer of it, which came out at the time of this video's release last week. Now, while it might seem hypocritical, since I've always advocated that a trailer isn't enough in order to judge a project entirely before the whole thing comes out, however, that statement is usually reserved for when people nitpick a trailer like Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet or the new Thundercats Roar, and people usually hyper-focus on trivialities like the animation, or how does Ralph even know what the internet is, or how the art style isn't as appealing. Contrary to what fans think, these are actually things that are pretty low on the list of priorities when critiquing a piece of media. However, with this trailer, that's not the case. This trailer is emblematic of a very persistent problem that DC still has, and they need to have this lesson drilled into their skulls to keep the tone in check. While yes, a tone is a means to an end and not everything dark and serious is automatically bad, but at least the creators of those good properties try to make it entertaining, or engaging, or have something worthwhile to say with their themes. Less so with DC's tone management, and how often their edgelord crap keeps seeping through the cracks like an eldritch abomination. This is even more stressful considering that most of DC's TV series, animated or live action, have been very upbeat for the most part. I sincerely thought things were getting better. I should bring up the fact that Geoff Johns has stated in an interview that the trailer isn't the whole thing and it's just a preview, that there's more than that. However, when he said that this show is gonna be more adult, and this is a DC property we're all talking about, you can understand why my stomach turns and why my head is set on fire. Honestly, just because you boast that your series is going to be more adult, grim, dark, and brooding doesn't translate to good, especially when you suck out all the light-hearted fun out of a team like the Titans. Forgetting that light-hearted funny moments help the serious moments stick out more. Heck, that's what happened with the Teen Titans animated series, where most of it was humor and it was only serious like 1/5 of the time. That's called good tone management there. Also, a trailer usually shows the best parts of the series or a movie, and if this is the best the previews have to offer, then sorry, I'm not buying. You can understand my doubt. Speaking of which, we should talk about the trailer. I know, finally, right? So about the trailer, let's take a small break from my ranting about the shitty tone and move on to other aspects of this trailer that explain why our doubts are very justifiable. Let's start with our leader, Robin, how he has made this trailer infamous for his now meme-worthy line, "Fuck Batman," and then proceeds to pound all the bad guys around him into a bloody mess. Do I even have to explain this? Robin, specifically Dick Grayson, has always been the more upbeat and positive levity in Batman's life. In fact, that's the entire purpose of the Bat family, to prevent Bruce from becoming a more brooding, sullen loner than he already is. Dick has always been the more upbeat and positive one of the Bat family, so seeing him like this, drenched in blood and going, "Fuck Batman," is not only disheartening for fans of Dick, but also further emblematic of DC's desire to dark it up, even with one of their most upbeat characters. But then again, they got to Superman. And speaking of Superman, I think it's very clear why this drastic change to Robin's tone exists. It's similar to Superman snapping Zod's neck. It's the creators trying to show off that this isn't your grandpa's Superman, or Robin in this case, shock value. It's just so that way the creators can seem edgy, mature, and comics are totes serious, stop laughing, Mom. I'm very sure this is going to be part of some sort of character arc where Robin wants to break away from the shadow of Batman, but newsflash, we've already had this kind of story before, and Dick never let this departure from being Batman's young ward to take away his happy outlook on life, because that's what makes Dick enjoyable. He loves being a superhero. He's not Jason or Damian, where being drenched in blood is like a refreshing shower to him. But then again, this is DC. Happy, fun, and sunshine is not allowed. Speaking of the absence of light, let's turn to our resident half-demon witch from Azarath, Raven, referred to by her civilian name of Rachel. Kill it with fire, Azarath Metreon Zinthos. Oh god, no, I made it worse. Ah! Okay, got that under control. So anyway, do I have to say it? Do I really have to say it? Do we have to keep focusing on Raven's demonic nature? Okay, I get it. Raven being the daughter of Trigon is one of the most memorable things about Raven, and the Terror of Trigon is one of the most remembered stories in Teen Titans history next to the Judas Contract. But this is starting to become the new death of Superman, and I'm very sure we're going to keep revisiting this, aren't we? Is this the only story that we remember? Heck, the Titans versus the Justice League movie wasn't even about the heroes fighting, it was more about Raven, Trigon, and fuck you, Damian. And the tone of this show is already grim and dark and no sunshine, and you want to let out literal darkness and malice into this already edgy mess? There are other stories revolving the Titans, guys. You couldn't even do Raven's demonic eyes right. But then again, red is a primary bright color, so they wouldn't let that through. I'm surprised they even let Beast Boy be green. Even if it isn't a primary color, it's still bright looking. I'm surprised they let that in. Look, I'm not going to ignore the fact that the Trigon story is great. However, as the first arc, the event that brings the Titans together, Trigon the Terrible is a world-ending threat. You usually save that for a series finale, or a season finale for your second to last season. Heck, in the comics, the Titans disbanded right after the whole thing with Trigon and didn't rejoin until Cyborg tried to steal the moon. Oh yeah, comics are totes serious, you guys. And once we've beaten Trigon, where are you going to go from there? How are you going to escalate threats after defeating Satan? I mean, that's what happened with Supernatural when the boys fought God's older sister, the Darkness, and now it seems like the show is running out of ideas. Basically, I wouldn't start off with the world-ending threat as the first arc for the Titans. Maybe something smaller but still dangerous that brings them together. Why not explore Beast Boy's origins as part of the Doom Patrol more? Maybe even bring in a Doom Patrol villain or something. Or Starfire and how she came to Earth. That worked well in the animated series, but I'm guessing the show's creators only remember the serious crap as the only reason why Trigon's story in particular is even being referenced, and because it's edgy and To be fair, if not generous, I will give this series a chance and give it a watch and give it a few episodes to impress me, and I will keep my expectations low. However, the past has shown me that not even doing that will help me with this company. A common defense of this trailer is similar to one I've seen a lot defending the DC movies, that we should be thankful to see our favorite superhero characters on the big screen and in live action. To that I say, just because it's live action doesn't make it better, and we've had better versions of these characters. I will also agree that getting a bad version of what you want is better than not getting it at all, but that pertains to ideas never explored. Again, there have been better versions of Robin and the Titans before, so comparison and criticisms are more than likely to be expected and deserved. And somehow DC still thinks that grim, dark, serious stories are better than light-hearted, upbeat, fun stories, which is where superhero properties properly shine, even theirs. I promise you that you will find no shortage of people saying they'd rather watch Teen Titans Go than this live-action series based on the trailer alone, and I'm also confident that will stick even after the show comes out. At least Teen Titans Go has something to say and can be enjoyable most of the time, and that can even be the same for serious stuff. However, the only point that the most insufferable DC fans and creators can make is to show how insecure they are about watching a show where the multicolored spandex-clad teens are fighting a supervillain with magic, lasers, birdarangs, and yelling "Booyah!" Enough of the seriousness, DC. Get over yourselves. Admit that you enjoy watching brightly colored symbols of peace and hope running around fighting monsters and supervillains and saving the day. Goodness, the Power Rangers community has more dignity than you. Alright, come at me, comment section. Oh, by the way, moving My Hero Academia back to Monday.
When there's trouble, you know who to call. Teen Titans! From their tower, they can see it all. Teen Titans! When there's evil on the attack, you can rest knowing they got your back. Cause when the world needs heroes on patrol, Teen Titans, go! With their superpowers, they unite.